Next up, Tom Cuthbert, CEO of Click Forensics. Tom?
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Judges, y'all look good tonight. Am I brown nosing already? Click Forensics is a company that's been built to solve the problem of click fraud and help advertisers get what they pay for. Our team is built from folks from Symantec, IBM, Coremetrics, other great companies, bringing together multiple technologies to really help advertisers make sure that what they spend online, they get full value for. Our mission as a company is to become the industry leader in scoring, auditing, and improving traffic quality, not only on search, but in display advertising. I won't bore you with the definition of click fraud. My guess is that you've all heard of it by now. If you haven't, you can tune into CNBC tomorrow morning at 3:40. We'll be on. I know you'll all be up at 3:40 in the morning, so we'll be back on talking about click fraud again. But basically, click fraud are clicks that advertisers should not pay for. They can be from out of country. They can be fraudulent, meaning it's malicious traffic. It can be any number of things. So our company has a process to identify and segregate these out. Let me show you how we use that to help solve this problem. The problem of click fraud is growing along with the growth of online advertising. I don't need to tell you as an audience that online advertising has continued to grow. But the problem is getting worse in the same way that spam has gotten worse over the years. In fact, in 2004, you may recall Bill Gates making the comment that by 2006, Microsoft would have the problem of spam solved, and a quick check of your inbox, if it's like mine, would show that that's not been the case. So how do we solve the problem? Well, when we first began our company, and we've been looking at this problem now for over 4 years, we spun out as a company about 2 years ago, and we realized what we needed to do first was help size the problem, really get a sense, not only as a community, what the size of the problem is, but for individual advertisers. And so until spring of 2006, there was no way for an individual advertiser to know how big the problem was for them. We launched the Click Fraud Network, which is a place where advertisers of all sizes can come, contribute data, communicate with each other, build a community around the problem, and in exchange for that, we gave them free statistics on their own campaign. This network has now grown to well over 4,000 advertisers, agencies, publishers, search providers, all coming together to try to help solve this problem. So what is the overall click fraud rate? Well, as you can see, it's grown quarter to quarter. It's well over where it is last year, and tomorrow morning we'll be announcing what occurred in the last quarter. But it's a significant problem, and what we're seeing is almost 16% of all clicks that come into an advertiser's campaign are being billed and should not be billed. That's a very significant problem when you consider the size and scope of the industry. This problem is being driven by a couple of areas of issue with this, the first being botnet traffic. We reported in our last quarter that we saw the botnet activity literally double from Q1 to Q2. People have used to use botnets to cause spam problems. Now they're pushing that over for click fraud. The other big issue, however, is in the content networks, Google AdSense, Yahoo Publisher Network, and others, where the click fraud rate is well over 25%. This problem is really because of two factors. It is the botnet traffic that I mentioned, and Dr. Merrick First from Georgia Tech recently announced that there's over 250,000 machines being constricted every single day. Huge number, big problem. But the other issue, though, are these made-for-ad sites and park domains. The one I have up, freephonetones.com, is sending very, very low-quality traffic to advertiser sites. As a matter of fact, we've been crawling, looking at sites in Google AdSense and Yahoo Publisher Network. The vast majority of sites in the content networks are either a park domain site or a made-for-ad site. And 71.8%, as a matter of fact, in Yahoo Publisher Network are park domain or made-for-ad sites. Google's number is slightly higher than that, 76.4%. So you can see the traffic quality coming from these is really an issue. Who cares? What's the impact? Well, advertisers are pulling back on their pay-per-click spending. They're having higher cost per clicks, partly thanks to Google's algorithm tweak. And they have a diminishing ROI on their campaigns. So this is the reason that quarter to quarter, we're beginning to see revenues fall in these categories. Publishers have a similar problem. Revenue is down. Their income is being threatened, being dropped out of the publisher networks, and they have falling cost per click, the opposite problem of an advertiser. Our solution is a community solution. So we take the Click Fraud Network, we take our enterprise advertising clients, and we work with them to try to help identify this traffic that they don't want. And we do that with two products. The first is Click Forensics for advertisers. So we take data from advertisers, either through page tag data, most likely weblog data, process it through our heuristic engine, and score it using either a click score, which is our measure, kind of like a FICO score for the value of that click, or a site score, which actually values the traffic coming from a publisher site. We process that and give them some terrific reports that feed directly back from their campaigns to the search providers. So reconciliation API, so they can look at their billing and make sure they got what they paid for. And then we also using an intelligent exclusion API, where we work with advertisers on excluding certain sites from their campaigns. Many of those very bad part domain or made for AdSense sites can be dropped off. For publishers, we work in near real time to take the data from our network, take traffic as it comes in on their site, run it through our engine, and push back to them information that they can then use in their ad serving system to either show an ad, block an ad, show a lower quality ad. The result of that is increased site score, increased quality of traffic coming from that publisher. In that case, the advertiser wins. So television has Nielsen, radio has Arbitron, print has the Audit Bureau of Circulation, and when you think about online and you think about where Click Forensics is in this space, think an anomaly. Think a company that is part Nielsen, Arbitron, and Audit Bureau of Circulation, part semantic in the technical issues that we have in solving this problem and the level of detail that we get in. That's exactly where Click Forensics is today, and that's where we're heading. And we look forward to, as we grow and continue to grow our company, to make sure advertisers get what they pay for online. Thanks.
I didn't have to give you the hook. Guys, what do you think?
All right, bring it on.
You get the pro first, right? So
Okay.
I agree with you. This is a huge problem. It's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse. The other thing I like about this is the business that's perfect for a trusted third-party intermediary. No one's going to trust the search engines to do it themselves. No one's going to trust the publishers. So I think there's a unique role here, and I don't know, there must be others doing this, but I don't know who they are right now. And what, so I think there's a lot of value here and a unique value proposition. I think the scoring approach is interesting, and it's proven whether it comes to credit scores and other kinds of analytical approaches to rating the quality of a borrower or whatever. So I think I like the approach that you're taking here. And bottom line, I think there's an opportunity to build a huge company here. If you look at ComScore, which I see as the company that is measuring the quantity of traffic. As we all know, they just went public. They had a $20 million quarter, $80 million run rate, and their market cap is $1.1 billion last time I checked. And so if there's a company you can build that big on quantity of who's coming to the sites, I think you can build a very significant company around quality of the traffic coming to the site.
That's good to hear for a company that's deeply engaged in a B round right now. So that's great feedback. Thank you.
Jim, I just don't agree. I have some real questions about the long-term business revenue model of Click Forensics. The players, Google, Yahoo, they're looking at this problem. They've got lots of engineers working on it. They're really incented, to the extent there is click fraud, to figure it out because they need to keep their customers happy. And for you, Tom, to build a business here, you've got to have the other party at the table. So, what if they don't want to negotiate with you? What if they don't want to play? And if they don't want to play, you don't have a long-term business model. So that's what I worry about. I think the other thing I'm concerned about, too, is that click fraud is known. So you could argue to the extent that people who want to advertise are figuring out how much they want to pay and bidding against each other as they do on Google AdSense now, that the market's already taking that into consideration. So if 20% of the clicks are fraudulent, the price, I think, already reflects that. So I really worry about the business model and long-term revenue.
But what happens if it starts getting worse, right? So it was 20%, and tomorrow it's 30%, and on that site it now goes to 40%. And who's going to trust, Google?
There are a couple of other players in this field, and we had another company pitch us a year ago, and their numbers were higher, so could argue it's actually going down. I don't really know.
Interesting business.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Good luck.